The neon sign flickered faintly along Route 12, a cracked arrow pointing to Dottie's Diner, open 24/7. James squinted through the windshield, his truck's headlights catching the peeling paint as rain streaked down. He'd driven this stretch of Ohio backcountry 100 times, but that sign wasn't familiar. His stomach growled, hours since his last gas station sandwich, so he turned down the gravel road. Something about the buzzing light felt wrong, like it was calling him. The diner emerged from the fog, a squat building with grimy windows and a door that creaked open before he touched it. Inside, the air smelled of burnt coffee and grease. A waitress, Eleanor, stood behind the counter, her apron stained red. Not ketchup red, but something darker. She smiled too wide, her teeth glinting under the fluorescent hum. "Sit anywhere, hun," she said, her voice echoing slightly. James hesitated, then slid into a booth, the vinyl cold against his jeans. He ordered a burger, but when it arrived, the meat glistened raw, dripping onto the plate. "Something's off," he muttered, pushing it away. Eleanor's smile didn't falter. "You're tired, hun, rest here." The words burrowed into his skull, heavy and warm. He rubbed his eyes, noticing the clock on the wall hadn't moved. 3:17 a.m., frozen. Outside, his truck's lights dimmed, then died. James stood, unease prickling his neck. "I'm leaving." Eleanor's head tilted, her eyes narrowing. "No one leaves Dottie's." He bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The sign's neon buzz grew louder, vibrating through the walls. He grabbed a chair, smashing it against a window. Nothing. The glass didn't crack. Behind him, Eleanor hummed a tune, slow and off-key. Desperate, James searched the diner, finding a trapdoor behind the counter. It led to a basement, damp and reeking of rust. Old newspaper clippings lined the walls. Headlines from 1973. "Diner vanishes overnight. Route 12 mystery. Unsolved." Photos showed Eleanor, unchanged, smiling beside a glowing sign. His breath hitched. This place wasn't real. Not anymore. Footsteps creaked above. He grabbed a rusted pipe, climbing back up. Eleanor waited, her apron now soaked, hands dripping. "You can't fight it," she whispered. The neon buzz pulsed in his ears, urging him to sit, to stay. He swung the pipe, cracking her skull. She staggered, then laughed, blood pooling at her feet. James ran to the jukebox in the corner. Its hum matched the signs. He smashed it, glass and wires sparking. The neon outside flared, then died. Silence fell. Eleanor crumpled, her body dissolving into ash. The diner trembled, walls fading like mist. He stumbled outside, the gravel road gone. His truck sat alone on Route 12, engine running. The sign was dark, its arrow twisted downward. James drove, heart pounding, vowing never to stop again. But miles later, a faint buzz hummed from his radio, and the dashboard clock froze at 3:17. Back in town, he dug through the library's archives. More clippings, drivers missing, last seen near mile marker 47, his exact stop. A grainy photo showed the sign glowing in 1985, 1999, 2012. It wasn't gone, it moved. James burned the papers, hoping to forget. Weeks passed, but the buzz lingered in his head. One night, driving home, his headlights caught a flicker. A sign. Dottie's Diner, open 24/7. Eleanor's face stared from the arrow, etched in neon. The truck's engine sputtered. He gripped the wheel, whispering, "Not again." The sign pulsed, brighter now, and the road stretched endlessly ahead. No turns, no exits, just the buzz growing louder, and Eleanor's voice on the radio. "You're tired, hun, rest here." James screamed, but the sound drowned in the hum. The sign loomed closer, its arrow bending toward him. Next morning, a tow truck found James's rig empty, parked at mile marker 47. The sign was gone until it wasn't. Hit that like button if you felt the buzz, subscribe to keep the nightmares coming, and drop a comment. Have you ever seen a sign that shouldn't be there? Beware the next road you take, because this curse might just follow you home.